Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage and part 2 of the clutch change on the Mercedes-Benz. I just installed the slave cylinder. I still need to bleed it. There's a lot of talk about how difficult it is to bleed the slave on these. The correct way, I think, is to connect the front brake caliper to the bleeder nipple on the caliper to the bleeder nipple on the slave, and then by using brake force the fluid back through the slave and the master and back into the reservoir. I'm gonna try to just use my pressure bleeder as I always do, because sometimes it's an urban myth that stuff is difficult. Sometimes it's perfectly fine. When that is done, I need to fix the exhaust, and then we need to check if the clutch is working. So let's get to work. Firstly, I'm just gonna show you the new slave. And there it is. It was a bit fiddly to get the correct one, and I really hope it is the correct one, because there was, I think, 3 or 4 to choose between, and it was a matter of VIN number and chassis number and all that. And this is an old car, so you never know if the gearbox is original and all that. The bolt hole seems to fit, and the shaft seems to be the same size, so I think it's the correct one. Let's try to bleed it. So I'm just pressurizing the reservoir like I usually do. The clutch reservoir is shared with the brake. Then let's crack this one loose. There we go, fluid is coming. And already now it seems to be air free. Just gonna let it run for a bit. I'm just gonna feel the clutch to see if it feels right. To be honest, it seems to be a bit too easy, considering what I wrote on the internet. So if it works, then I was probably lucky. It feels all right. I have to test it with the car on the ground, so I will wait until I fix the exhaust and then test if the clutch actually releases. It feels correct, but I can't hear the diaphragm or anything. I can't hear if the clutch actually disengages, so I'll have to wait on that. It won't be possible to see from out here either. So yeah, onto the exhaust. So I have this piece of pipe that I'm going to use to fix it with. First thing I want to do is to remove the piece of pipe that is still in there. Let's try to do that. There we go. And then I think with a bit of luck that this one, if I cut this thing off, because it's supposed to go on the outside now, it's going on the inside, I think I can massage this one, because I don't have anything that fits the diameter otherwise. I think I can make that work. So I'm gonna cut these away and then massage it until it fits. But before doing that, I'm going to take this piece of pipe that is the problem, because this is where the holes are at. I'm going to cut it up here where the holes are, where it's fine, and then I'm going to measure how much I need to add. So that doesn't really need to be very precise, this, because there's a lot of give in it. But I need to do a bit of an overlap probably. So I'm gonna do it a bit bigger than this. So with that cut off, it doesn't exactly fit, but it's very close. So I hope to be able to expand it a bit using this, which is sometimes working. There we go. Let's see if it will fit. Pretty tight fit, but it's fitting in there. I'm gonna do a cut right there and on the other side to make it possible to compress this with this up here to clamp it all together. So I'm just gonna do that. Should also make it easier to get this one in. That will work. So all that's left to do is to weld this one to this one. But it is quite important to get the correct angle, so I'm just going to fit this loosely to the car and then see. I'm actually just going to tag it in place in here to make sure that it will fit and then weld it up outside. And then I'm going to go out and weld up this. And I wasn't asked to make this pretty. This was just to give this exhaust a bit more life before it needs complete changing, but at least now it's going to be tight. That will do. That's nice. Well, it's not nice, but it's fixed. I'm gonna fit this to the car. So this is it. The exhaust is back on. It looks very home-grown, and it is, but it is good enough. Oh, I still need to fit that one. Better do that. But when that is done, I think it's ready to do a test drive that will either, I think, be a success or be the clutch master not being bled proper. We'll see. But be back in a minute when I lower this car to the ground and test it. Now, very, very exciting. I'm not gonna start it in gear in case the clutch doesn't work. Reverse. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's working. So far so good, it's not slipping. I'm not giving it the beans either because the engine is completely cold. So I'm just gonna warm it up a bit, but so far it feels just fine. I gotta say, working on this car and driving this car really made me rethink my own 123, the turbo diesel. It is so rusty, but I actually picked it up and drove it to my garden because I want to disassemble it. I want to take the seats out and everything and really see how bad it is. I think it's very bad. It is very bad, but I just want to really see what's what, and I haven't been able to sell it, so I could end up just selling it in parts or maybe get another shell. That would be really nice also. But I really like these cars. I would like to try to own my own that actually works. So yeah, expect a future video with the old white 123 once again, and probably a lot of rust and desperation. We'll see. Anyway, the car's up to temperature now, and let's try to floor it in fourth, because that's where we had the problems before. Nothing. It doesn't slip. What I want to do next is to just tap the pedal like I also did previously. That made it slip, so let's try that. Oh, it just grabs instantly. I cannot really test the top speed of this because I'm not allowed to go faster than 80. But one of the problems that my brother-in-law actually had was that he couldn't really get it up to speed. That was the way we found out that the clutch was slipping, because it just started to slip at around 90 or 100 kilometers per hour. But I expected to be able to go a bit faster than that now. Not a lot, because it's not the most powerful car, especially not with the amount of weight that it has to pull. But it is not slipping at all. That's great. So anyway, thanks for watching this small journey with this 123. It might return. I still have a leak that I might sort. I don't know if I have time to do that. We'll have to see. And thanks for watching, and thanks for the support I get on Patreon. That is really nice. If you want, there's a link in the description to the Patreon page. It helps me out a lot. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.